Welcome and welcome back to the Serendipitous Deck Sermon series, where I go through a deck that came to me one card at a time, and we hear what messages it has to bring to the people who tune into this, whether it be an observation of energies that we are moving through, an energy that we need to house and feel at this moment, just for a place to be, your own spirit being in a human vessel, and allow as much as possible as many people around you speaking about that subject so that that alignment is, continuously solidified and encouraged, and that you're reminded you are unconditionally loved by your inner self. Okay. So we just had the Leo full moon in Leo, and today Uranus went direct. So until the 1st of February, all planets are direct. I can't necessarily speak for meteors and other things. I don't have that information, but yes, a lot of forward momentum, clarity, which is really encouraged and lovely right on the kind of downhill moment after a full moon too. So I should let you know I have a little dragon friend. Look how sparkly. I am just in love. Even their eye is sparkly. Their hair is a pansexual flag, which I identify as. I always say it's my sexuality. Anyway, so yeah, they came home with me when I was at the charity shop, and now are at the top of my altar. So I did a nice cleanse and clear of everything that was on the altar. I wiped down every single surface in my room. I thanked everything as I put it back on the altar. And yeah, I would encourage, while the full moon is still out, this is going to go up pretty much today, that take time to clean the bathroom or just wash your face or whatever it is that you can manage. But that kind of intentional, okay, full moon for release, and now I make space for what is to come next. So I have something I wrote, which was a little bit just for my own stuff the other night, but it sort of feels like that's the perfect segue for that. And then we'll get into the cards. I've just burned some sage there, and I'm wearing my regular rings. There's the Fibonacci circle, some hematite and kyanite, and then just this badass little fairy butt being. Oh god. That is by Risa Bobisa. It's the cutest jewelry ever. Okay, so and other things, calendars and really awesome things. But anyway, it's not sponsored. I'm just a big fan. There we go. Okay. I do not have to know what comes next or how it comes, but I do know it's magic. I do know it surpasses what I have experienced up until now. I know that I have been showing up for myself, and consistently, inconsistent energy, more so than ever before, and this has leveled up how I express my self-love and how much I can lean on my practice and how it supports me. Particularly in the most trying place of all. This moment in time, this particular address, however that lands for you. I do have the window open today because there's birdsong happening as it's sunset, and I have some train sounds on because I've been finding that they're really, really helpful for me to read and write to and process in general. And maybe it's the forward motion, the rhythmic motion, but it's nice to have something that's ongoing, that's not necessarily music that I have to pick or whatever it is. But yeah, I did a reading for myself too, on the full moon, right? And I really came to some clarity about because I know I've spoken on here in another one of these episodes about what it was like to be back in a home that was a part of my childhood, and more so teenagehood, which was definitely the most kind of trying point of my existence, and then onward, etc. But the version of myself that I was here, though I wouldn't want to ever walk in a space in a sense, like, or accidentally like pick up those energies, or like, like I had worries on me about how it might affect me, though I knew that it was just the right thing. It was like what needed to happen was me going through this old location to like go on to the future. And I now see it, because of that full moon, as like a circle back to pick my old self up, which is bringing me to like Snowpiercer, the way that they circle around. We have the train sounds and everything. Anyway, yeah, and like it's like I feel as though my past self, because I already had integrated my inner child through a lot of the healing that I did when I wasn't here in Ireland anymore. And like that was a necessary part of the healing as much as survival. And then it was like a necessary part of how it is that I would know what it is that there is to come in my future. Because if anyone is being made happy in this lifetime under my control of trying my hardest to give them what they want and need, it's my inner child, first and foremost. But now they've integrated, and I find I don't have to like ask as often what it is that she might have wanted, or does want for me or whatever, because of the alignment of that. And it's like something I'd only kind of noticed. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't tend to like have to check in with that as much. And now it's like I've taken the hand of the person that I was as a teenager, like so much pain and so much hurt. And it's like where an eating disorder began, and like I was dealing with so many things that I didn't even understand at that point. And also it's kind of like a big point in time where I was trying to like reach for and understand what I now know to call like my spiritual path. I had nobody around me to guide me whatsoever in a lot of this. Like most of us don't, coming from a certain generation and such. Like there's so much, and I love this so much for the generations that are in younger spaces and like that are in their 20s and stuff, that there is so much online. I mean, and for us as well, there's so much online about like tarot reads and witchcraft and spiritual ways of experiencing this world that are like completely including what is intangible in a normal way. And it's still not seen en masse as what's normal, but that shifts person by person. It's not like the overreaching media or something like that can just swap, because like people don't like and adjust to change in that way, and there's still older beliefs that are still like within a lot of the establishments, but like eventually those people won't be here anymore, and the norm for shift and change and evolution and such. So that's really exciting. And I know there's a lot of awful and there's so much darkness, and we still have like a lot of processing to do individually and on a collective level. And then like worldwide and country to country, this like looks different, right? But also showing up for each other in a community way doesn't really look different on a mass scale and on an individual scale, because it is predominantly about acceptance. And so yeah, practicing that within is always something that I would encourage, because when it comes down to it, it is what's going to be the tools that we already know and trust within, that all of a sudden, oh, I can use these outside. Like that is totally what's occurring in my life. I never thought that I would be someone that wants to work with people that are younger than me. I've literally been a person that said, I hate children. Oh my God, I don't even like that sentence now. It just feels so ignorant because it's like, I don't hate that. It's like a part of the way that I would interact with people that I can't necessarily like, I don't know, be a certain version of myself with, or whatever it is, and fears and all this whatever stuff that I've been through. And it's an individual thing. I'm not in any way saying that like it should align with exactly the process that I've gone through. Basically, it's just my own personal journey of now coming back around to being like, oh no, the children are where the future is. Damn it, I did not, like, I knew that. But I guess at a certain point in time, like, you're still that being, you're still that younger person who, like, is a part of shaping the future. And then you get to, like, a tipping point of, like, huh, okay, I'm 34, so I don't really care whether I have my own kids or not. I've always been pro-adoption. But, like, regardless of that, I'm still, like, oh no, I want to actually, like, I'm able to live in my Aquarius North node now, because I've been so focused on shaping and just giving space to my Leo South Node on my Leo rising, which is like the self and the sun and the center of things, but also shining my light out at people was like the main reason that I was like valued whatsoever. So I had to shine my light in at myself and fully understand the kind of sun being. And then it's like I've now transitioned into my Aquarius community version of that North Node future thing, and it's exciting. So thank you for being a part of that. So which of our cards today wants to come out and play? Oh, alrighty. It's like not a card that I know well. A lot of them have very obvious backs and such, so this is going to be an adventure into the unknown. Deedly deedly dee. Okay. Thank you, Source, for providing these methods of understanding this world as I pick them up one at a time, and thank you so much for allowing me to divine through them teachings and words and imagery and things like that that will and are helping people and spirits, whoever it is that tunes into this, understand their existence further and just feel seen. It's very important, and I thank you for being with us. Okay. And you as well. card. Oh yeah, I haven't held it up. Here you go. Wait, focus on it. This is the back. Almost wish I used a pencil, because that would have been probably nice ASMR. I'm not sure if that's something you like. Scratchiness could be. Anyway, pen noises are nice too. Yes, I'm back. I'm just that was a journey. There's a voice in here that wanted to say some stuff, and it's empowering stuff. And so I wanted to write it all down, so I made sure I understood it. But a lot of it was like being, like I was shown a scene, and then I'm like, okay, I can describe the scene pretty quick, but like, what is it meaning, right? And I guess in a way that would be down to anyone that's listening to also take for themselves, which I kind of love, because we'll all hear and see different things with, like, because of our perspective based in like different imagery and numbers and stuff like that. Okay. Whew. So at first, like, go with the normal way, or will I just go for like, okay, this is the message, but it's as plain as day. This isn't the message, this is like me trying to explain it kind of beforehand. So as plain as day, you're sitting on the first thing I felt was like, it wasn't necessarily like a hot day that one is sitting on the grass in, but like, you know, when you reach down and grass is cool and like the earth's kind of squishy, and I gratefully grew up in Ireland, so that's something I'm like very much used to. I know that's not everyone's experience of all grasses now that I've walked in other countries is grass. I don't take it for granted how beautiful and squishy the mud is here. But grass is still cooler, and I know that that's something, regardless of like how dry the land is and such. So, yeah, it was like, oh, the beautiful, like immensely vibrant, just like life that grass is. And I guess that it also signifies in a sense as well. And green was a color coming off of this big time at the start, and so there was like this love. And more in the way of like the love of existence that is existence, not like love between any kind of human form to another or anything, just like the essence of love, right? Green being a heart chakra thing. But also another color that came out after a while was blue, deep blue, navy, and then I flipped it over and was like, ah, no way, because this is pretty much the color on the back. And so as much as it's like this energy of like, it's plain as day, sit in the grass, you make daisy chains, like, you know, there's work in punching a hole through a part of the daisy and linking it with the other daisies, and then at the end you have a necklace, but it's like, you enjoy that work. It's not like you sit around going, oh, I have to cut through the daisies now to like, oh god, another, there's fun in every part of the process, right? And so that is the way, I guess, this card wants and to remind you, you can reach the goals, the victories, the timestamps, the peaks of I listen for like what is the most aligned word with what it is I'm trying to say. That's what's happening in those moments. The peaks of your spiritual journey, spiritual growth, physical existence as well. So it doesn't have to necessarily be within the spiritual realm or practice that these peaks or like wins or victories or whatever it is, successes occur. Whatever it is, you are a living prayer. You live, you exist. Therefore, everything you do is a spiritual act, whether you're aware of that or not, because you are a spiritual being housed in a physical form. Like your literal existence is, oh yeah, ties in with that totally. Like actions are, an expression of your relationship with what is divine and what is within and such, and anything that then you like have within existence purposely within your life is pieces on your altar that you are presenting an offering to the divine that is within you, and you're living as a prayer, and therefore being in the present and every moment that you're living through is a blessing and is something to be grateful for, even if it isn't necessarily the peak yet. And so yeah, there was this like, it's like a beautiful calm day, right? But there was also this like breeze. And it's not a light breeze. It's not a one that like screws with your temperature, like, oh, I should have brought a jacket or like anything like that. There was kind of like a light scarf energy, which just made me think like there's no restriction or need to hide one's throat chakra, like what it is that you have to say and express is in a bit more of like a calm, thought out place. And oh, blue is another, it's a color that aligns with the throat, and so, or the energy center that's there anyway. And like this is like you're on the grass, and I have gotten I asked for like more details of that scene, so I got toast first off, but then it was like the smell of other people's barbecue, not your own barbecue, but like, you know, when you're just like, oh, other people are also like having, you know, a good nice day, like this is just like peaceful, right? Breeze that is strong. Oh, I'm ending up doing it the way that I normally do it anyway. All right, let's go for that. So fizzy drinks, light scarf wholeness, right? That kind of like with the piece of just like, it is what it is right now, and because it is beautiful. In control was another part of that, and it didn't feel like in this way of like needing for control, but the way that I could hold this in my hand, I felt like, you know, when you have like a drill in your hand or a knife and you have chopping to do, or you have a drill and you have like, you know, holes to put in the wall or whatever it is, and like you have the tool and it fits in your hand, and then there's the task in front of you and you're like ready, like that. Very just like, I don't need for anything in this moment. There's still work for me to do in front of me, but like I'm ready, I'm with it, I'm in this moment. Before and after this task, I'm going to be as whole. Like the success is not necessary, but at the same time, the working towards what it is the success brings or is reminds and continues the like prayer that is your life, the respect in growth, the respect in evolution, the respect in showing up for the existence that is you, because stagnancy would not be something that shows love and respect for your existence. Rest is very important. I like to say that in times of like, it's not all about production either. Okay. Yeah, there's like a part of the message where I'm like, oh, that totally aligns with this, but I'm going to come back to it because it's said with love. So yeah, unlike other cards, this had no want to like hug or like circulate me, or like, I don't know, a lot of them seem to like their energy kind of moves past and around, or like there's a part of my body that I like feel it kind of pulling towards, or like being in communion with in one way or another. And this was very much just like, I'm here, you're there, we're peacefully connected is what I wrote. Yeah, it felt very comfortable, especially because I'm just not in like so much of like a let's hug everyone mindset right now as well. So I was like, thank you, card. It's like, yay. It had enough immensity without even having to like try reach into me at all. So yeah, then I asked for an actual location and a time that I found. It was definitely Dublin, but I kind of got like a few different like locations. All of them were nearby parks, and it was nighttime, and so it was like I found this under a like clear sky. There was lots of stars, and right outside of a park, by like a row of black gates that like it was on the like concrete ground, like on a sidewalk, street. What do I call those here? Footpath. And then translating for different English speaking countries is confusing. Beside a park, beside greenery, like, yeah. Okay. Immense, I wrote down. Daisies, daisy chain. At the start as well, I thought this was going to be something to do with more with like community, because I was like, there's these pieces that were like taking the time to put together. But then with the rest of the imagery, I'm like, this feels like one's own personal journey, that like we're gathering pieces of ourselves and like different things that we have to like and want to accomplish for ourselves to like get some. Anyway, okay. Starry wind when you will it. Yeah, a breeze. But because and when, I don't know why because was in there. When you will the wind to be stronger, it is. Like one of those moments. Not gonna explain that. You know, if you've done that, it happens. Okay, grow past. Okay, so this was the message that it had. Basically, it was like someone with a cloak who was faced away from something really immense that's behind them. They're wearing a cloak, and they're like, it's like there's a light breeze, like the cloak's a little bit flapping or whatever. And then at a certain point they turn and they start walking towards this like really immense center of everything. Whatever that looks like to you, because to me it was like something that was like this ball of like fiery light, kind of like the sun, except for not like hot, comforting, right? Something that like I know is meant for me. Okay, I'm gonna read what it said. Grow past this. You are worth more. You can't stay like this forever. You can't stay like this forever. I didn't write this with punctuation. So. It just like that. So bear with me. Grow past this. You are worth more. This voice is, I hope, comes across in my tone. This voice already knows that you can do this, what it's telling you to do. You're absolutely capable. You can't stay like this forever. I won't let you. Listen. And then we got blue, deep, navy, the number 8, gates, ground, street walk, and then trust the breeze. And I turned the card. And that's when it was very obvious this person was wearing a cloak. Walk towards the wind and still supported. You know, those moments when you walk towards really strong wind, but you can like lean into it. So the wind doesn't even necessarily have to be at your back and you're still being supported in the movement that you're making. Energy behind you to guide you. Walking towards something immense means that it's worth it. But until your energies align, like with that immense thing that's off in your sights there, it is all powerful. And it wants you to join it. But its wind is stronger than yours. So then you arrive. I saw this being like arrive and align, because this light, this ball of energy is like pulling the being towards it at the same time as sending out like and being its own immense powerful essence, and that then creates this huge wind, and you may have to walk against that wind even though you are absolutely able to. But then when you reach it, you are fully aligned with it. It's not going to like have a wind that pushes you away and makes it harder. It's for you to align with exactly this thing you see in your future and within yourself. That is that powerful. And then when you're... Sorry, this part was really moving. When you're at that place, there was this like... like a cave, but in no way did it feel disconnected or like dark or dank or like these kind of things that we associate with caves, right? It was like a magical, mystical cave of just like space and love. And there is this peaceful pool in the ground of the cave. So peaceful pool of water when you get there. Dip, dive, you are safe. Big Ace of Cups energy also in the kind of imagery of that. Because in a way, yes, that could be seen as like a destination where now you're in a peaceful place where there's a pool and like everything's, now you gotta go into the mystical waters. What's in there? More levels, more coins to collect, more. I never know what that animal is. I think it's a dog. But what's happening to it? Also, there's a lot of foxes in this area, so like it could be something to do with a fox, but it just sounds like a dog that's like little and distressed. I don't know. But yeah. Noises outside were something I was kind of encouraging as far as like confirmation with stuff, so yeah. Ooh! Also, there's like this one, I don't know if that's like something imagery wise that would help, but it's like this one thing that's in the center of all of these. Anyway, centralized center being the sun and all. I don't know. The thing that I was imagining is sun-like, except for the sun is like so hot when you get near it, it's gonna like kill you before you even get near it, right? But that is not the occurrence of what it is that's going on here. So, if I was to send energy, because I don't know. I know, and it's not necessarily to do with this, but it's a phrase that I even recently read, so let me have a sip. Bring me back to physicality. Okay. May the wind be at your back is the start of an Irish blessing. And it feels with all of this like you listening, and I hope you know this if you don't already, believe me saying this now, because it is an absolute truth I have found. And believing in it in your own self makes the difference of how it is that this greets you and how it is that like life is lived. The wind is at your back. We don't have to think about the physical, actual wind spirit that lives with us on the planet Earth right now. But like energy that you are when you are aligning with your highest self, that is your intention. You are aligning with your highest timeline, is another way people say it, but your highest self. Not like angels, not source, not like the highest self is one consistent being who has always been with you and is you, but is you outside of it, there being like human attachments and understandings of life, or life understood within like this one specific finite life that you're in for just the human portion of your journey. What word was that I said? They are always there. Get to know them. Oh, that was needed to be said. Oh my god. That was needed to be, get to know them. Repeated the wrong part. Maybe it's not wrong. Because there is so much abundance after that when you kind of, for me, it was like knowing I have a teammate regardless of whether there's a human person that is like aligned with me and understanding everything I'm going through at any point in time or whatever, you know, and a therapist helps and friends help and blood relatives if they're people that you feel safe near help, and etc., partners, pets also. But these other beings, if you don't already cultivate or know anything about your relationship with them, that is absolutely okay, because you are exactly where you're supposed to be in those relationships at this moment in time. But yeah, I would definitely suggest getting to know one's higher self. How would I suggest it, since I'm saying this like, oh yeah, just go find them, like it took me going through something like really horrific I wouldn't wish on anyone to like find out that they were there. For me, it's like the way my intuition speaks to me is before every other, I mean, this is it for everyone as well, but it's like the thing that you feel, know, sense before you have any thought about something, like your pure essence of reaction in your body, because your body is intuitive, like our minds are not currently, kind of en masse in the like human sphere or whatever. And you can align these experiences, but at any given time, your mind is also occupied with other things. That's its job. That's absolutely fine. But your body is tuned into the frequency of anything that it is encountering at any given moment, whether that's actually happening in your reality or in your mind or whatever it is. And so it has the feeling part down. So attuning to that is something, because getting to know that voice then leads you on a path to knowing and feeling and understanding your higher self, in that it will be the voice that speaks with unconditional love to you. It's you. It is not a forced like thought within your brain. It is not your ego, which will speak in fear and try to keep you in a safe place. It encourages growth. It does encourage like a protected path, but not a safe path, right? Growth and change are pro-evolution, pro your movement forward and aligning with energies that are always moving, that you are living amongst. And that takes, you know, like not staying in what feels only safe. But at the same time, I had to stay for like a year in literally, I mean, maybe it was more than that, but like, and at certain times, just like, no, the energy doesn't feel safe. And that's a truth always. Like, it's not always about like, oh, I'm going to seek everything that challenges me, so I'm like worried this gets applied wrong, but hopefully it's coming across in the right way. But the voice that speaks with unconditional love. Also, if you start writing to it, writing letters, maybe with questions, you could ask it to be like when you're doing a tarot read or anything that it is that you would count as like divining or communing with energies that are other than yourself, to like gain answers or understanding of something you're moving through. Directly ask that it be your higher self that is the one that brings the answers to you, because they know these things. They can see the other timelines, the past versions of yourself, the future versions of yourself, the, you know, the ego, the subconscious, everything that's like other than you as well. They're in communication with angels, with the spirits, yeah. I would suggest it. And then with all of that, because it does bring like actual kind of characters in a sense to like your team, but the source, and it's not easy to believe with many of the life paths that people are leaving or living and being forced to live and such. So take your time with getting this and understanding it and like believing in it. Repeating about it also helps a lot. I guess it's a form of, you know, affirming it to yourself, but specifically living a life and making choices that are aligned with your highest self is 150, 200%, whatever. I shouldn't have gone over 100, because then it just gets into like infinity percent supported by the universe. Oh, if anyone knows what infinity percent is, definitely the universe. Anyway, we are source. And also source is something that in a sense can't be named because it's like everything. And it is in support of you because you're a part of it. And unconditional love is the absolute like essence of that. And I mean that in a way of like it almost being in balance with a sense of indifference, except for feelings are a part of existence. Therefore, indifference is not at all how I would call the essence of what is. And unconditional love is because of acceptance is key after unconditional love and around unconditional love, etc. And have that for yourself. I do not necessarily advocate for unconditional love of others. Be very careful around that. But you know yourself before yourself have unconditional love. So that's not the energy I'm going to send. What I am going to send, though, is the reminder in a time when you don't remember it that the wind is at your back. Okay, and it's coming from an actual Irish-born person as well, so maybe that'll be helpful because it's like an Irish blessing or whatever, but it's also an understanding of the fact that the universe is on your side. It is. Okay. And if you don't want the Reiki healing, feel free to leave at this stage. It's absolutely fine as well, and I love you very much for being a part of this, and this will only take a few moments. I'll come back to you, and yeah, okay. Thank you. Wee! I love you so much for existing. Thank you for being here. Let's do this.